going on, YouTube? So I haven't done anything with my D110 since Ray Wallace was up here and we drove. I've been kind of down on it because needed some upgrades. I still haven't gotten the funds to do that. But I put the body and stuff back together. I'd stolen the pinion gear for the monster truck, so I got some larger pinions for the monster truck build. So I put the pinion back in, put it all back together. Yeah, we did some hard wheeling, sorry, and got a little scratched up. So I'm gonna do a little weathering paint repair. Let's see if I can zoom in here and show you. It's got a few scratches and chips down to the white plastic around the bolts and along the bottom. The other side's a little worse, especially that rear fender. It's got quite a few scrapes. So we're going to try to hide that with more weathering. That's a good thing about this type of finish is it's not ruined. And you're not going to have to live with the plastic or nasty touch-up. You can just throw some rust over it and call it good. So I'm going to get everything I need here and we'll get started. Alright guys, I'm going to focus in on this rear fender. So, you know, again with all this weathering, there's no wrong way, there's no right way. The first thing I like to do is put a little paint on it. So I've got a Tester's earth colored paint marker. Just a light brown, dirty brown, just to get something over the white. So in case we don't rub the weathering powders the right way, it still looks like something. It doesn't look like white plastic. That's not scale at all. So this bad boy shook up here. I keep this little piece of styrene here. I'm sure if you can see that. I just use it to wet my paint markers on. Had that for a while now. So I'm just going to go around and hit the white spots, the chips, just to put some paint on it. I don't care what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and do the whole bottom here since it got really scratched. Some of the bolt, spot back here, just so we get some paint underneath what we're going to do next. So I'm going to go ahead and go around the rest of the truck and do it like that. We'll let it dry for a minute and then we'll come back with our pigment. Alright guys, so I'll let the paint dry. I've used my Vallejo pigment binder and a little bit of burnt umber, the dark red rusty looking pigment, and I've covered the painted areas with it. Now I know I've been corrected before, the fenders are made all aluminum, they don't really rust, but you all know, you've seen them, they travel the world, they're filthy, nasty, dirty trucks that they're poorly built, and you know they have a cult following. So just going with the flow here. I'm not going to try to touch up with green. I don't have any. Actually, I do have a green close to that I could try and touch it up with, but it is what it is. This is mainly just practice. If you've been following along with the channel, I never meant to buy this truck. It was shipped to me by mistake when I ordered the Cruiser. Because this Cruiser has sentimental value. Grew up having a Land Cruiser, and yeah, I got it. It was just too cool not to build, so I had to keep it. And yeah, so I'm not too partial to the fenders. I've never seen much here in Texas. I've seen a couple around, but you know, it is what it is. I'm just practicing my technique. You know, it seems like with this weathering, if I go too long without doing any of it, I start forgetting how to do it. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and hit the rest of the vehicle, all the touch-ups I've made with the pigment and the binder, and then we'll come back and do a little wiping. Alright guys, it's mostly dry. I tried dabbing a little bit off, and it just kept coming right off. This stuff takes a while to dry, so I'll have to just leave it. I've got a fan directly on it. At least on this section that we were looking at, and I'm alright with it. It looks, you know, if it was a Chevy, I'd say it's rust, and this is a Land Rover and it's aluminum. It just looks like dirt thrown up on the rockers and the fender edges. It works. You know, it'll look different once it dries. The powders will show better once the pigment binder actually dries completely. which will probably take a couple days, or at least overnight, to start looking right. But yeah, I'm going to show you the rest of the vehicle. I went ahead and did the whole thing. So here's the whole driver's side. I call it the passenger side because I'm in America, but it's driver's side on this model. And you can see where I've done it before. There's lighter spots here and there, and it just works. It just looks dirty, it looks nasty. That's kind of the look that I like. Let me flip around and show you the driver's side, or the passenger side. Sorry, it's confusing. The other side, since it didn't have as much damage. Yeah, this side didn't have as much. I had a little bit here, the fender, and a little bit right here. That was pretty much it. A couple of little nicks here and there, but nothing serious like the other side was pretty rough. Yeah, it's just an ever going process. The more you drive, the more you bash on your rig, instead of trying to touch up paint, and they'll let you just weather it a little more. So every time you drive it, it gets a little beat up. Just add more weathering, and it just helps with the realism of it. I mean, every nick on here is from a drive. Every scratch, only the base weathering that I did originally is what was on it. And everything else, all the stuff around the edges, because this truck really likes to drag rocker on the rocks. So, and with these tires being a little bit bigger than what you would normally see on a Land Rover, they get up in the tire well and they rub and they scratch paint away from the edges. But that's part of it. To me, that's part of the whole deal. So I'm happy with it. And like I said, once it dries, like I think the last time I did this, you can see some of the lighter spots. They're the different color pigment. I've got burnt sienna and burnt umber, and the burnt umber is dark rusty red, and the burnt sienna is the lighter shade. And next time we do this, I might use, I've got kind of I think it's a yellow ochre or something like that, different color pigment. Could add some black pigment into it, and it's just all about the layers. It's just like if you've ever painted with canvas, you don't ever get the first image of what you're painting until you're done, because you're smearing and you're blending, and there's a lot to it. So that's kind of how this is. It's just layers upon layers upon layers. So I think it's gonna look all right. This is my test rig for weathering, so I'm happy. We'll see how it turns out next time. Thank y'all for watching, and please like, subscribe, and share. And if you haven't seen any of my other videos, check them out. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and go through. I've got a lot of videos. I've done almost 200 videos in the past 10 months. So there's a lot of content. Some you may like, some you may not. That's how it is. But for all you returning viewers, I'd like to thank y'all for your patronage. Like I'm a restaurant or anything, but it's nice. It's nice to have. I've kind of got a community following. There's people that we talk to and share ideas, and it's just a nice platform for all of this scale RC stuff. So I appreciate it. So I'll see y'all in the next video.